Welcome to the video Vort. At the beginning of this week's Sedra, Avraham and Lot's households are not getting along with one another, fighting, specifically their shepherds. And Avraham suggests to Lot, Al na tihi meriva beini uveinacha, let us not fight, rather let's figure out a way to work it out. And Avraham makes his argument, Ki anashim achim anachnu. The reason we should work it out is because we are brothers. Now Rashi comments they weren't actually brothers, which we know, they were krovim, they were relatives to one another. And the idea simply being that since we're relatives to one another, we're close, we should find a way through our commonality to work this out, and we should put the differences aside, should be no disputes and no fighting. And that makes good sense. And it's relevant, a message relevant to any one of us. When we have a dispute with somebody, that rather than focus on the differences, focus on the commonalities. We are all part of the brotherhood and sisterhood of mankind. Anashim achim anachnu. We are people and brothers and sisters. All well and good. But it's the second part of Rashi which is a little shocking. Rashi says, what does it mean, ki anashim achim anachnu, we are brothers? Says Rashi, citing the Medrash, domin bekluster panim. They looked like one another. Their physical features were similar to one another. Avraham looked like Lot, and Lot looked like Avraham. And so therefore, Avraham's argument to Lot is, let's find a way to work this out, because we look like one another. What does that even mean? So what that they looked like one another? I would suggest that the answer is that Avraham was saying to Lot, we physically appear to be similar to one another. But you know, Lot, Hashem sent me on a journey, Lech lecha me'artzecha, the grand spiritual journey, the hero's journey of growth and development. And when that happened, I took my whole household with me, Vayikach Avram, and I took you to Lot. And after all that has transpired, going to Canaan, going down to Mitzrayim, coming out of Mitzrayim, dealing with Paro, after all that has transpired, you, Lot, have not changed a bit. You're the same Lot that you are now that you were when we started the journey. We are in essence incompatible. As such, our Roim are fighting with one another. We are too different from one another to be able to share the same space. Cut the cord, says Avraham. Avraham suggests we might look alike, but fundamentally, we are spiritually speaking, we are entirely different. And one may ask, why is Avram giving up on Lot? Avram's not giving up on Lot. Sometimes the best way for another individual to come to our conclusion is not by hitting them over the head, but by setting them free to find the answer on their own. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu bless us when we have disputes or arguments to be able to resolve them, because ultimately, anashim achim anachnu. We all have a shared humanity, and we all have a shared brotherhood and sisterhood. Focus on the commonality, and we can work out our differences. Good Shabbos.